Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Made of Stars.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
So today we're going to be talking about purpose, and we're also going to be talking about manifesting. Yeah, it does. I mean, you have to kind of manifest your dreams. You have to kind of create those goals and have a plan of action in order to find out and then achieve your life's purpose, which is a lot easier than it sounds.
Yeah,
But
it really is. I mean, what's life? What's everybody's life purpose anyway? Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody has their own life purpose. Some people are here, thinks that they're here to teach people or teach the world or teach themselves. Like life purpose doesn't have to be career driven. Like for me, life purpose is about what you want to accomplish in this life and what you want to help, you know, establish your legacy or not, you know, and that's your own judgment. But that's how I define it. It's like what you want to accomplish and what you want to put a legacy out there if you do accomplish some of these goals with, you know, like the public, like such as like light workers or
I
yeah.
agree.
yeah,
I'm like at a loss for words though. I'm just like thinking about it
Yeah.
because some life purposes can be like really small, and I think we can have a lot of different purposes maybe, like because just like our effect on one person might affect their perspective on life, and that could be part of our purpose. I don't know. I think it could be really big or really small, or I mean, whatever people
yeah.
put into it.
I agree.
It's interesting because it's like it's not even, you know, you can't quite quantify as big or small because I guess like if you it's like almost perspective. I think some people might just be like, you know, they think that their talent is their purpose. You know, they got to be a musician because they are a talented singer. I don't know who I'm talking about in this scenario. No idea. And then there's other people who are maybe like, you know what, it's my purpose to just bring joy into this world and like spread love, question mark, like just that general. So it's kind of hard to say like what's small and what's big because we can't really explain it. Sometimes it's hard to quantify, you know, and it's like some people just think it's like this amazing career. Other people think it's just like, you know, creating value.
Yeah.
And other people just don't really think about it at all, and they just do what they need to do. So you know, it's definitely a very debatable kind of topic for sure.
Right. I mean, comment below if you, you know, about like purpose, what's mean to you, audience. But like you said, Amanda, it's just like life purpose could be big, small, medium. It doesn't really have a meaning to it. It's what you put the meaning to it. You know what I mean? So what, like I said, what meaning does it have for us? Like, you know, individually. Well, for me, I think life purpose has to be, you know, for me wise, it's if am I happy? First of all and foremost, I gotta make myself like, well, am I doing this because I'm doing good for the world? Or I'm doing this because I'm doing this for myself. You know, you could do it, look at both ways. And sometimes I do it because I want to do it for myself. You know what I mean? Make yourself happy. And sometimes you want to do it because you know, you make somebody else's happy or make the world a better place. And, you know, it's like not only that, but at the same time, I think for me, bring joy to other people, bring joy to the world, it's what I redeem like my life purpose is. You know, and that goes with manifesting, you know, like how do I manifest being happy? How do I manifest helping other people, you know, like volunteer at like say, you know, soup kitchen or Ronald McDonald House that bring me joy, or even just like a homeless on the street. Sometimes I'll just, you know, buy them like a cup of coffee or whatever sandwich they want. You know, it bring joy to me and bring joy to them. And they'd be like, okay, well, you know, they may be homeless, but they're happy they got a meal out of it or a cup of coffee, you know, that they wouldn't gotten otherwise.
I was just gonna say, like when you're young, you think your dream is your life purpose, you know, like when I was a kid, I wanted to be a singer, but I kind of never really let go of that dream. And like it's still in the back of my mind. But as far as like it being my life purpose, like I don't know anymore. Like maybe it's changed, you know, or maybe I just don't prioritize it anymore. So maybe I'll never really know. Maybe my like life has taken a different path. I think it's just like it's I guess it's hard to say if it's like malleable or if it's like, you know, predetermined. You know what I mean? That's the part
Right.
that everyone's kind of just like,
Free
that's more like
will.
philosophy. Yeah. Free will, truth.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say that for me, I think that the purpose of life, from my perspective, is the effect that we have on other people in a positive way, because you know you can do it with so many people on such a huge, you know, scale. And I also think that part of like the grander purpose of life and why we're here is, you know, we all come here as, you know, souls with no memory of any previous lives, and we have this thing called free will, and we get to choose our paths and make our choices. And I think that the end game, this is just my personal opinion based on things I've experienced, is that I think one of the main purposes of us being here, period, is when we are able to like realize that everything, just like unconditional love, being able to find unconditional love and forgiveness in everything, like where you just don't hold on to things, you know, everything just goes through you, and you're able to like authentically forgive and forget. And I mean, we're all humans and we all have like bad feelings and we all get pissed off. But at the end of the day, if you can just find love for everything and everybody and having that feeling, I think that that's one of the main purposes, and helping other people like understand that, like, you know, we all have fucked up things that happen to us, excuse my language. But it's like how we perceive it and let it, you know, rule our lives that actually matters. And when we're resilient and we get over things and show people like, you know, the purpose of life is love, I think it helps them understand as well.
Right. Exactly. Like me and my other Zumba friend were just talking about this actually last night, and like life purpose and like goals and people pleasing. Like a couple of my other friends, we were just discussing about personal issues, and we're like, is people pleasing another thing that we redeem is like a life purpose? You know what I mean? Like, because a lot of times, sometimes it's not even our fault. And we kept apologizing because we want to please hurt the people like that we hurt, or we redeem that they're the victim, but they won't make themselves victim. So at the end of the day, we make ourselves our victim to please them as a people pleaser. Is that also a life purpose though? Because I don't know if,
I
you
don't think
know,
so.
we were also
Mm,
discussing that.
That's like a coping mechanism almost.
yeah. I think that like people pleasing is like stopping you from actually realizing your life's purpose. It's a distraction to focus on everyone else. You don't want to deal with your problems. You don't want to face your fears. So you'd rather deal with other people's problems. We all do it. We've all done it. But that's not at all your life's purpose. People pleasing is like different from creating value and supporting others and loving one another. That's like a different
That's not love.
that's a different that's a different thing. It's almost like how people confuse codependency with love in a lot of modern relationships.
Mhm.
I mean, this is not a new thing. It's not just a modern relationship, but I see it a lot where people are just like obsessed and like fixated on other humans because they're partners or whatever, but like they confuse codependency for love because they are with this person and that person enables them, you know, and says, oh yeah, we can totally hang out every single day. I don't need to go to work. I don't need to see my other friends. Like, and that's when it's just like, oh, I texted you 2 hours ago and you didn't answer. That's not love. You know what I mean? Or maybe it was and it changed into something else. Like, I don't really know, but a lot of it is like very toxic. And I think people misconstrue, you know, what love really is because they're so busy trying to please other people. like even in relationships, they want to focus on all 100% of all their attention on the other person. They can't deal with themselves and they don't want to,
Yeah.
which is more accurate. They don't really want to deal with themselves. They'd rather deal with someone
I
else.
agree.
Yeah, that's true.
And
So, yeah, I totally agree. I mean, like people pleasing isn't life, purpose as we
It's a
would.
distraction.
It is a distraction. So, and then also not only that, like, what about like manifesting? What about manifesting for you guys that you think, you have manifest with your life purpose? I know for me, I have manifest few things that go hand in hand with my life purpose, as in like the career I kind of want, but at the same time, it's what I like to do is helping people and pets. So I kind of manifest that in a way, helping people and pets, discover the nutritional value of food, or helping them, making sure that like my pet parents having issues with their pet, that I help them to dissolve a little bit and kind of like ease their mind a little bit. So that kind of like, for me per se, manifests a little bit that I always want to help people and animals. So I'm kind of working in that industry per se.
yeah, I feel like I've manifested everything in my life almost. Like when I step back and look at it, like even when I was a kid, I would like play office, just like this sounds crazy, but just like nonsense games. And I would like name streets of roads. And we had like these maps and all this stuff. And my friends would come over and we'd play it. And it's just like something I always wanted to do. And I literally, like, my job now is, I look back and I'm like, I'm doing the same thing that I was doing when I was a kid. So I mean, it's so hard to narrow it down. Like my friend was like, because I've been single forever, and she's like, write down exactly what you want. And I was like, okay. And I literally wrote down exactly what I wanted, down to like jaw lines, and like it was very, very detailed. And I was right here, like Cinderella. I've always like been obsessed with this book. I feel like my therapist is my fairy godmother. And I just relate to her stories. My dad didn't die, but it's a very similar story. So I'm like, okay, I'm like this modern day Cinderella, and I write down this manifestation, and it literally like happened what I wrote down in a way that's like creepy.
Wow.
Creepy, just very recent. This is like very recent. Yeah.
What happened?
I just like wrote down exactly the type of like man that I was looking for, the situation I was looking for, and I got it. And I didn't even realize at first that that's what it was, because it was so obvious that I didn't think about it. And like you're talking about love, like I don't know how much you guys know, but I kind of didn't know what feelings were until like 3 years ago of my life. So love is a new feeling to me, like sharing love with a partner. It's very different than codependence. I knew codependence is a very different feeling. So anyways, I'm like talking to him one day, and I just find out like his background, like he's from Nigeria, and he's like a king of his tribe. I'm just like, oh my God, like he's a prince with his father passes. I like wrote all this down. It's
Oh my gosh.
crazy.
Yo,
Wow.
I was just like the
Chills,
synchronicity. Yes. And he even like, there's just like synchronicities everywhere, and he notices them now. And I'm just like, okay, like I need to go back to what I did that day, because I remember I felt it, and I remember I like associated like a vibration to it, because I watched all these things. So I like have the book, I have the physical thing, like the vibration, and it's almost like praying. But I wasn't praying. I was just like thinking about it and feeling it, like it had already happened. And I would, whenever it would come into my mind, I would just feel like it already happened, and it happened, and I didn't even notice it. So
Wow.
it's kind of odd. Yeah, like very detailed.
Wow, we should all do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good exercise, like for like next episode, and see what happens. I think, yeah, and the more you kind of just like believe,
You got to be careful what you wish for, because some of it's not the goodness that you think it is,
Yeah.
It's interesting because you have to be super duper specific, which is good
Yeah.
that you were. And like I did this like energy like sound healing with like a new friend of mine, and it was like a group of 4 of us, and she was like providing the space and like facilitating, and like she was trying to do this clearing for us, like let go of like, one thing that you really are ready to let go of, and then open the space for something new that you're ready to open into your life. And it was kind of similar to like what you were just talking about, and it just felt like we're out in nature, we're by the mountains, we're by the lake, and it was just a very peaceful experience of like, I'm ready to let go, and that's the hardest thing that kind of comes up for people. They just can't let go. They can't let go of the past, being right, being wrong, looking like a fool, all these
Ego.
things.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so it was just really nice to kind of come in that circle and just like be in that space together and like anchor each other. And I just feel like I really did open something up. Like I'm more open to really like, meeting that person, as opposed to like the usual narrative and the usual mantra of like, men are assholes, men suck. That's the mantra that's going around.
Mhm.
That's the narrative. People are saying mantras all the time. Most of them are just negative.
Yep. And they're manifesting that.
Yeah,
by
they're
doing
literally
so.
manifesting.
They are.
You don't want another asshole, but you can't stop talking about it. You can't
Right.
stop talking about it. You won't even consider that there's like good guys out there. You won't even consider that maybe you just picked the wrong guys or tolerated the wrong men. You won't even consider that. So when I really like opened myself up, I felt like, no, it's not just, the crystals and the wind. It's that conscious decision that you're making to change and like move on, and move forward. And I want to hear more about your exciting new prince.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
she's
yeah, we
working.
should
Look
get
at
rid
her.
of the governors and presidents here. We just need princes and kings.
I'm
and
telling you.
we don't need politicians anymore. Be gone.
I wish we could do that.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, can we
Anyway,
just go back to royalty, please? Because this whole politics thing, not really working out. In
Yeah.
my
no.
opinion, not really
I
working out.
agree. I mean, some people says that they're manifesting the things in their life that they don't want or wish for. Like you said, be careful what you're manifesting, because you could go positive or negative. And if you don't want something, don't manifest it. Don't keep
Stop
saying
talking about it all
Mhm.
day.
Don't
Yeah.
even
You
say
don't
it.
want.
Don't
That's what
even
I'm
say it,
saying.
don't even write it, just, zip up your mouth and throw the key away or whatever. The thought, just throw it away like a garbage can. You know what I mean? Don't even think, say, about it, or don't even write it. Like that, just
That's
be
where
gone. Be
that's
gone.
where meditation comes in. You need to try to let go of things that are flooding and cluttering your mind. All this like pointless stuff that's like on repeat. It's just cluttering up your brain. That's where meditation comes in handy. You don't want to be thinking about whatever happened in 5 years ago, 2 years ago, or 1992. How is that serving you right now? Or that guy who broke your heart 10 years ago. How is that relevant to like present day? If it's not a lesson, then it's not going to help you in any way. And we learn a lot of painful lessons in life, but we just take them as mistakes and then think that we're like bad people or other people are bad people. And then we just move on, but we don't really move on because we're like scarred, and there's nothing wrong with being scarred. It's just that like, there's just a lot of resistance there. And there's a lot of like denial. And like, instead of just like taking responsibility, like, hey, if I want this, I need to create this in my life. I need to be open to this. I need to let go of the past. You really need to release and let go of all these like negative energies and negative, in some cases, people, mindsets,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Everything is energy, right? Like down to physics, like everything is made of atoms, and how atoms are put together is how everything manifests, like everything in the entire universe, you know? And so if you have like bad energy and around, like you did your thing where you had the release. So if you're releasing something, then you're opening space up in your body or consciousness for new energy to come in it for that, you know, new person or new manifestation. And what I was taught to do, and it's new to me, again, I've only been doing this for like 4 months, and it sounds kind of weird and crazy, but just try it. I'm telling you. So when you start to think about somebody and you're like, oh, I'm going to talk to this person, this conversation is going to go to the left, and you start like, you know, and you're like, wait, then you just think about that person and say in your mind, like, I love you to that person, like whatever their name is, because everything has a vibration or like a signature. And it's really weird. But if you just like say that person's name is like Sally, be like, I love you, Sally. Yes, I love you, Sally. Just say it over and over in your head, and eventually you forget. And every time it comes into your mind, just don't let yourself think. Just cover up your thoughts and like replace it with saying you love them. I mean, I can't necessarily feel it when I do it, but I'll say it. Or when I'm thinking, you know, somebody's gonna do something, or even in my relationship, when I'm just like, oh, you know, I'll see a sign and I'm like, oh shit, like this is what's gonna happen. I'm not doing this. I'm like, Christina, just stop, just like flow with it. And okay, I just like say I love the person over and over. And I promise you, like as crazy as this sounds, it works. Like you end up not feeling the feelings, and good things end up happening in the situations with the people.
Right.
So in the last 4 months, and I've been doing this a lot, and things that I never thought would happen, like never ever thought would happen, have happened. Like very good things.
Whenever you have like a negative thought about someone, you just say that you love them.
Yep.
Again and again and again.
Even if I hate, yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's really interesting. You're reprogramming your subconscious mind by reminding yourself.
And it doesn't matter if they deserve. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No. It's not about it's not about that. It's about your happiness, you know?
Yeah.
They will receive good energy. That's great. But at the same time, you're sending out that good energy, and it's just
you're just trading it, you're flipping it.
Yeah, it's that exchange it's really important. You know, a friend of mine actually does this like technique right before bed, where she imagines, because you know you're very like kind of vulnerable in that space like minutes before you're about to go to sleep, and what she does is visualize. She does a lot of visualizations of exactly what she wants to happen and who she wants it to happen with, and that stuff will come true. Like she wanted some guy that she met in the elevator to show up at her door and like show up with like flowers or something. That shit actually happened. Like, I mean, it happened within like 24 hours. Like the guy like tried to get her information from the doorman and this and that. And next thing she knows, the doorman's like buzzing her and she's like, who's there? It's like 1 a.m. You know what I mean? And it was just crazy. I think it's just interesting because usually
we almost limit ourselves by being afraid to think of things that are not possible. Like just think of them. How is it gonna hurt you? Just think it over and over and over, and like just try it.
Yeah, because people don't realize that they're manifesting already with all these mantras that they have.
Yes,
you are manifesting negative things. Like that's the other side that's like never really talked about. But the more you talk about that something, the more you think about it, the more you're actually manifesting that into your life, even if it's negative.
You know? And it feels good to vent sometimes. Like you want to call people and like talk about work or something and just like talk about a situation that happened. But then I'm just like, wait, just don't do it. And it's hard not to do it because sometimes you want to vent and you just have things to say. But I'm just like, okay, don't do it because you're putting negativity out there. Period. And so just don't do it.
Yeah, one of my friend who's passed like before, she says like literally to our group of friends before, whatever I said, and it comes true. Like, you know what I mean? Like it literally comes true. Like she was just like stunned. She's like, just don't say anything. Like, because sometimes when we're a group of people were together, I would say something. Like one time I was just saying, oh yeah, like I see like a tree with fire, like, you know, the thing in it, like a whatever. Anyway, she turned on the TV. I was at her house at the time, and she just like, why did you just say it? Because this image showed. And she always says to like, we was just like, whatever I said things turn true. Amanda can kind of test to that too sometimes.
Yeah,
This is like, it's so weird. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
it's interesting because like, you know, we both watched this movie. We both watched this movie, not at the same time, Soul.
Oh
And
yeah.
I just think like it's just really, you know, it's just really interesting because I think some of the time, like you think that manifesting and your life purpose is just so complex and so convoluted and you'll never know. And maybe you'll die never having known your life purpose. Maybe you'll spend your whole life trying to find out what it is. And then in that movie, spoiler alert, sorry, Christina, if you haven't seen it,
I don't know. I don't.
it's quite profound. You wouldn't think so because it's like a Disney film. And you know how
Yeah,
Disney films are kind of like corny AF and don't really
Yeah.
have any intrinsic like value at all. But like this movie, it wasn't just like I'm a damsel. It was like actually different. It was just different. Like the premise of the film was like this guy passed away having like barely even, you know, tried to live his dreams, right? He barely kind of, well, he was just like not confident. It's not that he wasn't trying. It's just that like he wouldn't share with people what he was doing and he was kind of like little shy, a little like
secretive.
whatever. Like
Like
he was
little
trying, but it was just, you know, whatever. He ended up like dying and he ended up in this like afterlife before life space. It was so interesting because he finds a way to like slip through the cracks basically
Mhm.
and kind of like fix things. But what he finds out in the end was that like he finally gets to do this like amazing music gig that he's always wanted to do. He finally gets to do the gig and live the dream. And he's like, it doesn't feel the way that I wanted it to feel. This is like kind of anticlimactic. Why doesn't it feel like I'm complete? I thought this was going to make me feel complete. I thought I would feel whole, like as if you're looking for your soulmate, your other half, you know? But then he was just like, I don't feel that different. Like, I don't feel the way I should. And as time went by, I think he started to realize like your life purpose isn't just that. It's not necessarily just that one thing that you think you really, really need to do. And you really like, you know, dreaming about that. But like, he kind of came up with the fact that like your life purpose is just, his life purpose was something along the lines of just like being happy, enjoying life, and
Mhm.
like sharing with people. That was literally like the entire
Movie.
thing. And it was just so cool to see because after you're seeking, constantly searching for decades, maybe your whole life on your deathbed, you're like, did I do this right? You know? But then
Mhm.
at the end, he was just like, I guess it was just for me to enjoy my life and enjoy other people. And that was it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like this grandiose thing that he had latched on to. That was kind of therapeutic for me to like see that it wasn't like, I found the guy, everything's great now. Like the other
Yeah.
old Disney movies. Don't get me wrong. I love Little Mermaid. That's my favorite Disney movie ever.
God, I love the movie.
Yeah.
Love, adore,
Soundtrack.
adore.
But yeah,
But
I
at the same time, it was just nice to see that.
right. I agree. I mean, that movie definitely speaks volume to life purpose as what he redeemed as life purpose on earth and afterlife. It's a really cute movie. So check it out
So
on Disney.
Soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, Soul.
So on Disney
Yeah.
Plus. Shout out to Disney Plus. That's
Or
my
wherever you
favorite.
find it. No, just kidding.
But well, yeah,
Right.
well, anywhere you can find it, but it's on
JK,
Disney
JK.
Plus. But anyway, like that has to go with our topic, right? Like he redeemed as so Pippa's like Amanda says, like, oh, like be a musician, blah blah blah. But at the end, he just find joy and sharing with people like his life purpose, and that's a really cute movie and teach young kids and adults like us like life purpose doesn't really have to mean a whole lot of things. It's what you know and what you really want to do and what you think you want to do. It's a whole different, purpose. It's a whole different thing. Until you find that life purpose, then you'll be like, oh, wait a minute, that's what I thought I want, but not really.
Yeah, I think it's so much bigger than us. I think my purpose is so much bigger than me.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's, again, I think it's the impact that you have on people around you, like him, like sharing, helping other people. Like, those are the things I think that give purpose. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Because it's like, if you didn't do the
we can have
dream you
goals.
had,
Goals and purposes are different. You know,
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
in a band is goal. Sorry.
no,
Nope.
like that's the thing. If you didn't do the dream you had when you were a kid, it's like, did you not fulfill your life's purpose? Are you going to have your life review and then they're going to have your life flash before your eyes and you're going to be like, well, I guess I didn't do shit. See you in the next one. You know
Going
what I
to
mean?
hell.
No, you're coming back here. That's your hell. You know what I mean? Like,
Reincarnation.
Yeah.
this is purgatory.
Hell.
This is purgatory.
Do-over.
JK. But I mean, it is a test. I mean, I feel like being here is a test because we do have free will, like you said, right? So we can theoretically do whatever we want. And a lot of people are taking full advantage of that,
Yep.
you know, and literally just doing whatever they want. They don't care who they have to step on to do
Mhm.
that. But they will
Especially
face,
after COVID, all that free money floating around.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, nobody can even buy land or a house anymore. It's just like to take advantage of people who like don't have like food to eat and don't have a place to live, like what they're doing in like China right now. Like, I mean, the things that they're doing, like, and just sweeping the, you know, the pulling the rug under everyone's feet, right? They're just pulling the rug out from everyone because
Yeah.
everyone's so distracted that they're just like, oh, well, you don't need to work or eat. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like, no.
No, that's not a way to live either. Like that just letting the government take over. That's not.
And those people, unfortunately, may never understand, you know, their life purpose. They're probably going to have to do that stuff all over again. Because if you don't learn it in this life, you're probably going to have to learn it in the next, in my opinion. So you
I
can
agree.
avoid your issues all
Yeah.
you want. You can avoid it for your entire life. Do you think that you're going to escape? Do you think that you're going to escape this?
Nope.
Maybe in this life, you can try to run from it your whole life, but it's going to catch up to you.
Yeah.
There's really no escape.
I agree. I mean, on that note, I think we have a great topic. And like you said, audience, comment below and let us know what your life purpose and what you think about your, are we right? Are we wrong? Let's talk about that in discussion if, in the comments, if you like. Yeah.
Mm,
Good.
bye.
Thanks for
Bye.
watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye.